This is Frequency, Freak Show Music. I'm here with Adair. Shout out to Culture 6.
Culture 6, you know what I'm saying? This is where that real hip-hop is.
And you are now checking out Culture 6 Experience.
Check this out, man. It's the H9C.
What up, man? This is Ghost.
This is Anthony Hamilton. Big shout out to Culture 6.
Welcome to the main event.
Who have you been working with? Like, what are you known for? What beats have you done that people are gonna know?
A song called Think About It for Snoop Dogg on the Blue Carpet Treatment, which is up there. And that was like my first major label, my first like foray into the major label system. I did a song for Ghostface called White Linen Affair, which was on the Big Doe Rehab. And then I did another song for Snoop called One More Chance. And that was on the Ego Trippin' album, which came out in 08. Last year I did tracks for Lil' Kim and Keisha Cole and a whole bunch of other people, but I've done a whole bunch of stuff from Slaughterhouse, Cameron,
EMC.
EMC.
Did a few joints on that.
I did 3 songs for EMC. I just did a couple of solo songs for Strickland.
Talk about the grind of trying to sell beats and work with these artists and especially I know you work with a lot of independent artists, EMC and Slaughterhouse and people like that who don't necessarily have budgets.
Honestly, even though it's less money with the independent acts, I actually prefer to do that because like with the major label stuff, like even established producers are still submitting beats to people for their albums, you know what I mean? Like unless you're like a Timbaland or someone who's really high up there and is gonna go in the studio with them, you're really just in the same boat that I am. I mean, there's people that have a lot more placements than I do that are really thrown into the same pile when they're submitting beats, especially to the major labels. I don't even know how many A&R meetings I had where I played beats. Nothing ever came out of it. The only things that I had that were fruitful was actually meeting the artists or actually meeting their management or someone who's a lot closer than just an A&R, because A&Rs aren't, I don't really feel, it depends who you meet, aren't really as close as most people think. Working with independent artists, like I actually get to be in the studio with them as opposed to sending beats and they'll record it and then you send Pro Tools, and it's really like a disjointed way of making music. It's almost like, you know, it's almost like mail order music, you know what I mean?
Cool them niggas. I talk the talk. Say it, motherfucker, we walk the walk.
Strictly live niggas in New York, New York, New York, New York.
Get him, Kizzy. Come on. Cool them niggas.
Strictly live.
I talk the talk.
Strictly live.
So, alright, I met you in this session with Slaughterhouse. You're working on a Joel Ortiz mixtape. How did that relationship come about and what kind of work have you done with them?
It really kind of stemmed from the NYC track that I did for Juggernaut. It was Juggernaut, Joel Ortiz, and Uncle Murder.
I just wanted people to know that you did that record because NYC, Juggernaut's my man. NYC is one of my favorite New York records.
It's his best record.
By far his best record. And he produced it right there.
Yeah. So that's how we got introduced to Joel, and just always kind of kept in touch, always sending beats. And then Slaughterhouse ended up recording Onslaught was my beat. So, and then we ended up doing Fight Club, and then that's just kind of how it just kind of rolled out from there.
And now you're a television star, Joe Budden.
Yeah, Joe put me on blast on some bullshit, but you know, it like tripled my Twitter followers in a matter of hours. So I guess that's a positive thing. We were in Baltimore this weekend for Rock the Bells, and like I've been doing beats for a while. Like I would like for people to recognize me or know my name from the beats that I've done, but there's 2 kids came up to me, different situations, like, yo, Frequency, right? I saw you on the Joe Budden video. Yo, he clowned your ass, blah blah. And I was like, yeah, thanks. But
let's kind of transition a little bit. You were talking about your artists,
right?
Is it a move away from just doing beats and shopping beats into like an artist management or production?
Yeah, I think that's really like the natural progression of things as producers. I mean, you really see like producers who really start to make themselves, like Timbaland and the Neptunes and stuff like that. Like they kind of latch onto an artist and kind of develop them and from the ground up, and that way when that artist blows, they're both attached as, you know, like kind of like a team. I think that makes better music because that's what musicians do when they're in the studio. They play with each other. And if you're thinking about bands or rock bands or even if you're talking about R&B, there's musicians playing with each other, and Pause.
If
Joe Budden was here, he would say that.
Adair was trying so hard not to laugh too.
And
good job over there. Well, like the whole pause thing, like I was waiting for you to say musicians play with themselves, and I was.
And then you said it again, and I was like, no, don't do it. Dancing all around like you're trying to get lost.
Yeah, so right after, yeah, dancing all around, right?
Okay.
All right.
Dancing all around like you're trying to get lost. Looking like a fool because you're trying to show off. Oops.
Come on.
I'm not perfect. Dancing all around like you're trying to get lost. Looking like a fool because you're trying to show off. Show off. Such a turn off. Take the pep from the step and walk it off. You ain't a bad mofo. Stop acting tough. I know where boys come from. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, so you know, you work with Snoop Dogg, Joel Ortiz, Joe Budden, and people like that. Adair isn't that kind of an artist. What kind of music is she doing, and you know, what are you targeting?
She's kind of just like a melting pot of sounds. I mean, the easiest way to describe it would be pop, but it's a mixture of hip hop, pop, rock. There's even like some country influences thrown in there in her voice. It's just really like a mix of everything that she and I have been exposed to. Like none of the songs sound the same. Like one song might sound more hip hop because she's singing and she's rapping, or sing rapping. It's kind of in between. But the songs that we're doing are really about experiences that she's had in her life. So the songs have a lot more substance as opposed to, you know, I'm dancing in the club and, you know, blah blah. This guy's talking to me or whatever. There's a lot more there.
Do this.